This is the BBC television service. We now present another program in our series of experimental transmissions in colour.
Early one morning, just as the sun was rising, I heard a maiden sing in the valley below. Oh, don't deceive me, oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden's song?
One's a bit green in the shadows on the left. Is that shading? Yes, we'll have to change the green tube tomorrow. You mean today, don't you?
Look, a quick follow-up from yesterday's debate between the Greens and the Nationals. Take a look at this as a reminder. So you believe in a carbon tax, a resources tax, increase public transport, restrict air travel, and also get rid of credit. Lending and stuff like that.
Not at all. That is a complete. I don't know where you've got that from, because I just announced yesterday that we would support a loan guarantee fund for large-scale renewables, for geothermal. We are out.
Now, that sent the Greens media office into a bit of a meltdown. Christine's key advisor, Tim Hollow, wanted to know why we thought it was Greens' policy. Well, Tim, because your leader, Bob Brown, is renowned for supporting what's called a steady state economy. Now, the Sydney Morning Herald reported just 2 weeks ago, Brown won't say it so simply, but what the Greens advocate is not socialism, it is an economy that doesn't grow. It's what we talked about yesterday. And indeed, Brown again mentioned his dislike for conventional economics at his party's official campaign launch 2 weeks ago. The points we put to Christine yesterday were the key features of a steady state economy, that theory. Well, Christine then insisted it wasn't official Greens policy, particularly the concept of getting rid of credit. We fully accept that. But we do wonder why the Greens dance around their position on a steady state economy. It's pretty important to our vote. Even while Tim Hollow was complaining to us yesterday, he wrote in his email, while the Greens are sympathetic to steady state economics, it does not form part of our policy. Well, Tim, you can excuse people for being confused. And by the way, we also notice this particular tweet from Tim after yesterday's debate. He said, wow, Sunrise is so determined to make the Greens look bad, they're taking down positive comments about Christine Milne. Tim, that's a complete lie. It does no favours to many well-intentioned people you represent. We never, ever, ever, ever censor our soapbox, Facebook or Twitter, unless, of course, someone swears on it, we take down. When we challenged Tim on his tweet yesterday, he emailed back saying I was repeating something that someone told me by several people who were watching the forum closely. So, Tim, once again, don't blame people for seriously questioning things you say. You know, listen to us, watch it, and explain.
Is that shading? Yes, we'll have to change the green tube tomorrow. You mean today, don't you?
And there are angry scenes on the Tweed today. Greens candidate Joe Abono assaulted at a protest against plans to ban fishing off the coast.
Well, the boys are already broke. They're losing their houses already, and you want to take what they got left.
No, we don't. We want to preserve it for the future. We want to preserve it for the future.
Lane Calcutt, 9 News.
Well, the biggest opinion poll of the campaign is being released in tomorrow's Sunday Telegraph, and 9 News has exclusive access to the results. Reporter Ben Fordham's here to take us through it. Ben, what does it show?
Georgie, it really shows that this election is anyone's. There's nothing in it. 4,000 people were surveyed across 20 of the most marginal seats in the country. Now, we've heard about many polls, but this one says on a two-party preferred basis, the Coalition is in front, 51.4% to 48.6%. In New South Wales, the Coalition could win as many as 7 seats from Labor. In Queensland, Kevin Rudd's home state, possibly 10 seats. Now, nearly 1 in 2 voters polled in Queensland think Rudd is a better PM than Julia Gillard. The worry for Tony Abbott, 60% of voters don't believe his campaign message. It is so close that this result may not be known on election night. It's an absolute cliffhanger, Georgie.
It is indeed, Ben. Thank you very much for that.
Glen Ridge.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Peter. Hello, everyone.
Troy, thank you very much for the call, and have a great day in Mornington. It's 16 to 3. Time to get back off digital radio if we can, Famo, and we're going to talk about electricity. And on the line, the energy spokeswoman for the Consumer Action Law Centre, Janine Rayner, has kindly joined us. How are you, Janine?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. I want to save electricity. I'm sick of my bills going through the roof. What do I do apart from turn everything off and go cold and not see anything?
There is that, which I don't think is ideal. The other thing would be to have a look around and see what other energy providers have on offer, and there can be savings between different retailers. So you could try that.
Should we be... I was a bit facetious here, and I apologise, Janine, but we probably should in this day and age be a lot more aware of things we took for granted, how we used to leave lights on, and we used to, for example, keep things on standby. I believe if you take them off standby, you'll save some power and all that sort of thing. We just should be energy conscious, shouldn't we?
Yeah, generally a lot of people do have some variability in their energy consumption that they can cut down on, and I guess it is time to reflect a little bit on our behaviour and maybe cut back a little bit.
Janine, Famo here. How are you going?
How are you going?
Look, we all know that electricity costs are going to skyrocket, and soon. You know, we're hearing figures of 50%. And one of the genius solutions for people who can't pay their bills has been to trickle their power, which is not really very clever, is it?
No, that's correct. So that function, that comes with the new smart meters that are being rolled out across Victoria to each home and small business. And that will be one of the functions of the meter, which will be able to limit the amount of electricity that flows into your home and potentially... limit the amount of appliances you can have running at a certain time.
But isn't that dangerous for appliances that are meant to run at a certain power range?
That's correct. So there's a number of risks with that function of the meter. That would be the restriction of energy within your home could mean that if you're using over the amount of energy that you're able to use, would have an impact on the appliances you're using and trip the system, I guess, and disconnect you or disconnect the appliance.
So rationing could even lead to the appliances burning out because they're working below their recommended range.
That's my understanding. I guess it would depend on the appliance and any mechanism for dealing with a varied flow of energy, but I don't think most appliances are equipped for that at this stage.
Now, this rationing of power is really directed at the people who can least afford to have their power turned off.
That's right. It is very unfair in the way that those who can legitimately not afford energy and who also unfortunately have appliances that are generally higher intensity and therefore use a lot more electricity will be facing or could be facing having this function of the meter used for this purpose for them.
So Janine, can I ask a simple question? Smart meters, are they good, are they bad? Do we have a choice? What should we do?
Firstly, no, you don't have a choice. They're mandated by the Victorian government, so every household and small business will get one by the end of 2013. Mm-hmm. They do have potential benefits, which would be network management, so the distribution businesses, which are those that run the infrastructure in the energy sector, providing the poles and the wire and bringing the energy to your home. There'll be some efficiencies that they'll find in terms of reading and detecting power outages and understanding where there's issues within the network. As for consumers, with the potential for time of use tariffs, so tariffs that will be introduced to measure your energy use at different times of the day, there is area for some consumers to benefit if they can identify which area of the day they're using the most, and there is an ability for them to use less. So you could cut down on your energy use and therefore the cost of your bills. But that's only for those who have the capacity to do that, and of course those who can't will therefore face a bit of difficulty.
Janine, is there a smarter way, a more sensible way than rationing?
There currently, for those who have energy affordability issues, energy retailers have a number of processes in place, such as offering different payment arrangements or entry into a hardship program, which looks at the amount of energy people are using and looks at incentivising smaller sort of weekly or monthly payments, and these can assist consumers to get past a period of financial difficulty, and also they do energy audits which look at consumers' energy consumption. So there are better ways and more practical ways than penalising those who can't afford it.
Janine, the Consumer Action Law Centre, I take it, is a free department?
That's right. We provide consumer advice for consumer issues. So we provide legal support. We also have a financial counselling service called Money Help, where people who have financial difficulties can phone up and ask for financial assistance. And of course, we provide advocacy for a range of issues where we believe that there's an opportunity for regulatory frameworks to be changed.
Are you surprised, Janine, that all of a sudden there's this huge interest as far as how we're using our power and what's happening with the power?
No, I'm not surprised. Energy bills are going up quite a lot, and it is making people, as they receive their bills, think about what's going on out there that's making these bills go up so much that they are facing difficulty in paying them.
Why are they going up? Is it more profits to the companies, or what?
There are a range of issues. It could be the cost of energy generation itself. As the price of generating energy goes up, the more we have to pay as the retailers purchase it from the generators. It's our consumption, and our choice of appliance. So the more we are buying these big TVs and as mentioned before, leaving them on standby, it does have an impact on the way we're using energy. And we do have many more electrical appliances in the home, often a couple of TVs and a couple of computers, which can influence the amount we're using.
Janine, how can people contact the Consumer Action Law Centre?
You can go to our website, which is consumeraction.org.au, and you can go have a look on there for any contact advice lines and give our solicitors a call if you need.
Janine, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon on MTR, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Take care. Janine Rayner, energy spokeswoman for the Consumer Action Law Centre. And Pete, page 9 on the Herald, the Sun today, and also page 26 and 27 are good reading.
Yeah, Karen Collier, great consumer affairs reporter at the Herald Sun, has done a good spread. And
I was really quite surprised, because I was one of the ignorant ones again on another subject, but I just assumed if I put on standby I was hardly using any power. However, the experts say it is wise to turn it off at the wall. Yeah, look, anything on standby is still energised and therefore still consuming power. And the Melbourne Fire Brigade warn people not to leave appliances such as TVs, stereos, on standby when they're leaving the house. How can we dance when our earth is turning? How do we sleep while our beds are burning?
Exterminate all humans! Exterminate all humans! We could exterminate you now! We could exterminate you now!